Bringing you an entire week of local news headlines into a single half hour. I'm Kenesha Dees, and this is the Fox 54 Week in Review. Here are just a few of the stories we'll recap for you in this episode. The local branch of the YMCA files for bankruptcy protection. We tell you what it'll mean for employees and members who use the facilities. Pathfinder gets a perk up. We'll take you along to the Rocket Center as the newly renovated shuttle gets back onto its position of glory. And two local schools are cashing in on their school spirit. We'll explain how you can help them in their quest for millions of dollars in upgrades. That's all still to come. This week's top story, however, pertains to the death of a domestic violence suspect shot and killed by a Huntsville police officer. When it initially happened over the weekend, the public was under the impression that the suspect was in custody. We've learned one suspect is dead after a shooting that happened over the weekend. Huntsville Chief Kirk Giles told us Saturday that a suspect was taken into custody after a domestic dispute led to a standoff. HPD releasing more details now says an officer shot and killed that suspect after that man shot at a woman running from him. It happened here at an apartment on Rhyme Village Drive. Police say a domestic violence call brought them there. A standoff followed, then the shooting. Fox 54 has obtained police scanner audio from the scene Saturday morning. Here are some excerpts from that recording.
27 Charlie 28, 6253 Rhyme Village Drive. All this fascinating. Thought they heard a gunshot from this building. Walked outside, heard sounds of altercation, possibly a woman in distress. Think somebody's trying to get into an apartment. There's a female caller on the line sobbing, asking the person why they would hurt him in front of their son, asking, please don't do this.
We want to start some more units. Subject refusing to answer the door. We lost contact with the female at this point. Well, I got a female and a child still inside the residence. So
after one offender down, does anybody else have any injuries?
I'm fenced with a female that was involved. Has got two 1034 wounds.
We have the engine right to her. Get her to him.
Today, Chief Giles clarified that HPD didn't disclose that the suspect was killed because family was not yet notified and the officer was not there on the scene. We can tell you tonight that individual is identified as 38-year-old Namichael Sanders of Decatur. The woman was taken to Huntsville Hospital and is expected to be okay. A child who was also inside that apartment was not hurt.
The district attorney's office has reviewed the videos of the shooting that took place last Saturday. They say it all began before 10 a.m. when Sanders broke into the woman's home where she was home alone with her child. Sanders then pulled out a gun, threatening to kill both her and her child. According to the DA, Sanders held them hostage at gunpoint, holding the gun to the woman's head for several minutes. When police arrived, the woman managed to escape, running outside and screaming for help. A Huntsville police officer was outside of the apartment. The district attorney says Sanders ran outside after the woman, shooting at her multiple times in front of the officer. Sanders then turned his gun at the officer. That's when the officer shot and killed Sanders. The district attorney's office will continue to investigate, but they do not expect any action to be filed against the officer. Reporting here in Huntsville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
Call for Huntsville municipal elections last night, and if you missed the results, here's a quick recap for you. Both District 1 races going to a runoff. For the District 1 seat, newcomer Michelle Watkins grabbing 49.51% of the votes. Incumbent Devin Keith is trailing behind her with 40.83%, and Reggie McKenzie coming in last with just 9.66%. For the District 5 City Council seat, incumbent John Meredith snagged the seat, beating out Kim Caudill-Lewis with 63% to 37%. Moving from City Council to school board races now. Here's a look at those numbers. For the District 1 Board of Education seat, it will be heading to a runoff. Chandra Jones came in at 39%. Pat King at 35%. Claudia Harris actually came in at 13%, and Will Culver both finished behind with 13%. For the Board of Education seat, District 5, Carlos Matthew won with 60% of the vote. Zara Brodenax trailing behind him with 40%.
Mac's back. I'm back. I'm back at home. I'm back in my own bed. I'm here to serve again.
You heard it yourself. Mac is back. It's the slogan for Mac McCutcheon's campaign for election to Madison County Chairman. Tonight, he held a party at the historic Huntsville Depot Roundhouse to announce he's running for the role. The incumbent Republican was appointed to be Madison County Commission chairman by Governor Kay Ivey back in January of last year, when then Commissioner Dale Strong was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. McCutcheon is the former Speaker of the Alabama State House of Representatives and a former Huntsville policeman. He says he's loved working in local government since moving down from the state level.
The local position, local government, is not so much the politics of the day that may flow down from Washington and or the states. It's about everyday needs that people have trying to live their lives.
Well, Election Day for this is Tuesday, November 5th. The last day to register to vote is Monday, October 21st. To register to vote, check your status and find your polling place. Visit MadisonCountyVotes.com.
A fire at an apartment complex decimated at least 2 homes. It happened just up the road from us here at Fox 54 at the Biltmore Place apartment complex on Old Blue Springs Road Northwest, just a block or two west of Memorial Parkway. The fire was first reported this afternoon just around 2 o'clock, and crews were on the scene by the time Fox 54 first laid eyes on the situation at about 2:15. There are no known injuries to any residents. Apartment management asked me to get off the property as they, quote, didn't want this to be a big thing. So I was unable to get any closer to the actual units that went up in flames. But one resident, Walter Page, lives on the second floor right above the original unit that caught on fire. He describes how he found out his house was in flames.
I just happened to turn and saw smoke coming up. I said, that smoke don't look right. It's too black. Went out the door. When I went out the door, that's when I saw all the smoke, and I ran down the steps. I looked over, then I heard the window pop. Pow! Matter of fact, I heard it. I can hear it creaking under my bed, like I heard something cracking. I said, man, it must be about to try to come through the floor, but that's when I really took off. Everything destroyed. Everything I had in there is gone, so I'm gonna have to start all over again, so.
Page says he needs to replace everything: clothes, IDs, credit cards, and all belongings. All he has are the clothes on his back and his cell phone. His phone number is 202-749-2220. If you want to get in touch with him and help him out.
Officials say the fire from Sunday restarted around 6 this morning at Biltmore Place Apartments and spread to more homes, displacing 20 residents. Yesterday, Huntsville police say they have launched an investigation and arrested Jonathan Hughes in connection to that fire. We spoke to a resident who was displaced and says everything was lost.
I was on my way over here and came to nothing. Nothing. We've lost everything. Everything is gone. We have no clothes, no nothing. All I know is we need help. We need help. We need clothes. We need everything. Pampers, you name it. I need it.
The Heart of the Valley YMCA announced it's filing for bankruptcy protection. More specifically, they are seeking Chapter 11 protection. Chapter 11 of the U.S. Bankruptcy Code is also known as a reorganization bankruptcy, meaning Huntsville YMCA remains in possession or has the power to continue operating its business and may, with court approval, borrow new money. Huntsville YMCA board chair and interim CEO sharing this statement saying, quote, "This was an extremely difficult decision for the YMCA board of directors, but it is the right decision for the future of our YMCA."
We hear from the chief executive about the tough decision the Y board felt it had to make, and we've poured over court filings to get a clearer picture of the organization's financial troubles. According to 2023 data, Huntsville YMCA served nearly 27,000 members at 3 different facilities, and over 400 workers are employed by Huntsville YMCA's organization. The membership has been down since the pandemic, and federal relief funds during that span are no longer available. So when a $15 million payment to Redstone Federal Credit Union was due this week, the local Y faced the unfortunate but necessary reality of bankruptcy if they want to keep their facilities running.
We've been working with our lender for a while and trying to come up with other financing options, but nothing really that was offered was going to work. The board, they just could not, in all honesty, sign a 5-year agreement when they knew in 6, 9, 12 months we wouldn't be able to do that. It was just an unfortunate thing that we had to do, but that's the way we had to act in order to protect people so that we don't have to close and we can stay open.
Fox 54 has reviewed the first round of documents filed in federal bankruptcy court, beginning with the initial Chapter 11 paperwork submitted on Friday. It lists the top 20 unsecured creditors, those who the Y owes the most money. Unsecured creditors are the ones at the back of the line for getting paid. the most at risk if someone goes broke. At the top of that list is a playground equipment company called Struthers Recreation, on the hook for about $124,000. Other unsecured creditors include Huntsville Utilities, Redstone Federal Credit Union, and the YMCA Retirement Fund. We also can tell you that tonight, the Heart of the Valley YMCA is urging the court to take steps that will allow it to pay all of its employees without interruption as the case moves forward. The Y is still open and programming is proceeding as normal. Now, we posted these documents detailing the situation so you can review them for yourself. Just head over to fox54.com.
Well, one Huntsville neighborhood is a big step closer to something new in their neck of the woods. The city broke ground today on the future West Huntsville Recreation Center on Martin Road. The facility's design mirrors the Mark Russell Recreation Center on Taylor Road. Our Jasmine Bird tells us all about it.
Once completed, this center will serve as a vibrant community hub, offering spaces for basketball, volleyball, and the increasingly popular pickleball.
Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle says you can never have too many pickleball courts. And Parks and Recreation Director James Gossett is looking forward to those courts and much more at the 27,000 square foot facility in West Huntsville.
It'll have a double gym, it'll have a fitness center, some multi-purpose rooms, so that we can, from a departmental standpoint, program this to meet the needs of this community.
Madison resident Evan Scott says the new rec center will mean a lot to him.
I usually have to drive 15 minutes minimum to get to a good rec center to play basketball or to play soccer or anything like that, but that'll put me in about 5 minutes, so that'll be actually really helpful for me.
Colt Kehoe is an 8th grader at Athens Renaissance School. He says the new rec center will be right up his alley.
Oh, I am really looking forward to the basketball courts. I'm a basketball dude myself, and anywhere I can get some slam dunks is fine with me. It's nice when you can just go and be like, yeah, I'm here. I don't have to wear a hat, get sunscreen. I can just do what I want without really having to bother about setting up for outdoors.
Colt's sister Kylie is a 5th grader looking forward to new ways to expend some energy.
I'm like an all sports person. I love every kind of sport. I just like to get out there. I like to run. Usually where we go is Insanity. And so I think it'd be really nice to have like a pickleball court or a basketball court, and that'd be just really fun.
Mayor Battle says he looks forward to coming back in about a year and opening the new rec center. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
I just loved hearing from the kiddos. Well, the city says this new facility will raise the number of recreational and community centers to 15 throughout the city, complementing more than 65 public parks. Here in Huntsville, we're about 5 days away from a new transit center opening, and the completion of the project was a chance to celebrate this morning. It's especially good news for some riders who have been waiting a long time for this moment. The changes mean more room for wheelchair customers to maneuver, audio announcements of departures, and large platform display monitors. Now, the new hub also means some changes to bus routes. Route 56 begins Tuesday, the same day of the center opening. It will expand service in South Huntsville, and there have also been some changes to routes 2, Patton Road, 5, Bird Spring Road, and 6, Jones Valley. Our Jasmine Bird hears how the community's responding to the new facility.
The Rocket City's making way for a brand new downtown transit center, the hub for buses serving riders throughout the city. Huntsville's Director of Parking and Transit, Keisha Bryant, says this new facility is important because the city is still growing.
As we continue that growth, we want to make sure that the center that's serving our riders meets those needs. We'll have the bays to accommodate any new routes. We've included many security features so that our riders feel safe and secure while they're utilizing the service. We've also made sure that riders who have any disability will be accommodated as well.
April Jordan is one of those riders. She deals with mobility challenges and could use a little extra accommodation.
You have easier access and they'll lower the bus for you, whatnot.
James Roberts is another Huntsville resident looking forward to a change that will make his life a lot easier.
It's difficult being disabled. This is the first day I've been on a cane. I've been on a walker. And getting in and out of the bus sometimes is a little bit difficult. But hopefully the new station may make it a lot easier. When you're on a walker, you have to throw down and then basically almost jump off the bus.
Others are simply looking forward to more comfort and expanded service. Folks like Takesha Young.
I'm having some automotive issues, and the bus goes right by our house. And so it helps me to see like what the route number is, and I can catch the bus to do what I have to do during the day.
The center says the facility's 14 bus bays ensure there's enough space for the fleet and for riders to board and unload. The bays are 45 feet in length, allowing bus arrivals and departures in a more convenient setting. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
And to celebrate the opening of the new transit center, all rides with Huntsville Transit will be free in September. We hear a lot about the school to career pipeline. Decatur City Schools wants to help students down that very path. The school district gearing up for a hiring event meant to assist those who will soon be entering the job market looking for work in the healthcare, hospitality, and manufacturing industries. Our Jasmine Bird is here to tell us all about it. And Jasmine, I hear this hiring event is supposed to generate a lot of interest.
Yes, Kanisha, the hiring event is at the Career Academies of Decatur, and they will host this hiring event, which is open to students participating in work-based learning, internship, and apprenticeships on September 4th. Students I spoke with say they're very well equipped to take on the workforce by storm.
We've been taking blood pressure, we do CPR, and when I leave here, I will be CPR certified.
Alexia Brown is a full-time senior at the Career Academies of Decatur, and she's excited about the hiring event because she's looking to get some on-the-job experience.
Anything they will give me, even if they want me to sit at a desk and take people's name, anything that gets me closer, because I want to go to school for nursing, so anything that can give me experience, if I can just observe, anything.
Alan Zargoza is also a full-time senior at CAD. His family owns a supermarket in Huntsville, and Zargoza is looking forward to one day becoming an entrepreneur and maybe even carrying on his family legacy.
Once they told me that if your father passes away, I'll have the business under my name and I'll have to eventually take charge. I'm in the right place to learn more about business and whatnot. To if anything happens to the business, I'll know what's like any problems that there, I'll have the solution right away.
Full-time senior Taylor Atkins says her cosmetology program is preparing her to do more than just hair.
As I'm coming out, I learn how to do like nails, cutting, eyebrows, and pedicures, manicures.
Work-based learning coordinator Angela Crushing says this hiring event is different from a typical career fair, but the overall goal is
by the time they get ready to graduate, that student is ready to be plugged right into that job because they've observed that student, that seasoned employee, and they're ready to plug right in. Hopefully, we can get students hired immediately on the spot. That's the goal.
Buckhorn and Hartselle High School learned they would each be awarded $5,000. It's all a part of the T-Mobile Friday Night 5G Lights campaign that highlights small-town football teams. But that's not all they could get. A single grand prize winning high school will receive a $100,000 grant, a state-of-the-art scoreboard, 5G network upgrades, consultation with football experts to get pro tips to elevate the game, a complete weight room upgrade, and a celebratory tailgate party with live music and a 5G-powered halftime drone show. Buckhorn or Hartselle could take home this grand prize. All they have to do is show school spirit with an Instagram hype video. To find out how to help them win, visit our website at FOX54.com.
All right, back here in the Tennessee Valley, students across Morgan County are learning what it's like to serve their city. They're also learning the roles of state and county government and small businesses. The students represent Austin, Decatur, Brewer, and Hartselle High Schools. Decatur Heritage Christian Academy participated too. Each student will start their own business during the program. They'll meet 80 business owners and entrepreneurs throughout the school year. And today, the group of high schoolers had a session with Decatur Mayor Tab Bowling to learn how the city operates.
We're the next group of potential city councilmen and mayors, so it's sort of our job to learn from the people who came before us and what they did, and learn from their success and mistakes.
Like what I seen yesterday and seen today, I would want to get involved in city council or anything to do with the city, just to benefit my community.
A unique experience. The students did mock city council meetings yesterday and heard from council members Ladner, Pike, and Pepper to better understand the role. A couple weeks ago, we introduced you to Matthew Dormis, the Oakwood junior who was named to the White House HBCU Scholars Program. He's not the only North Alabama college student that's participating in the program. Our Simon Williams joins us now in the studio. Simon, you were up on the Hill this afternoon and talked with Cassie McClellan. This is going to be a really cool opportunity for her.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenesha. Cassie McClellan is a senior from Toledo, Ohio. She came to Alabama A&M to study elementary education. It's also minoring in political science. She wants to pair the areas of academics and advocacy to promote improving disability education and resources for students, especially at historically black colleges and universities. So the White House HBCU Scholars Program is one McClellan couldn't pass up. The program includes a series of virtual meetings where she'll meet with representatives from the federal government and network with other program participants, and eventually participating in a week-long in-person conference in Philadelphia in September. We'll have a hackathon to come up with a solution to a healthcare problem in America. It's a chance for McClellan to elevate her advocacy.
I wanted to make an impact not only on my campus, but on the country. So I thought this would be a great way to start my HBCU advocacy and to make my mark. I think that I can make a lot of great connections and also just advocate for my HBCU and other students on a national level. It looks like sticking up for other students that are minorities, students with learning disabilities, students with disabilities in general. So I would just like to advocate for the people who don't have a chance to advocate for themselves.
McClellan wants to make a career of teaching and working on federal education policy, but more than a professional interest, this is also really personal to her.
I was diagnosed with auditory processing disorder in the 6th grade, and I am currently diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, the inattentive type. So students with learning disabilities is a very important thing for me because I am a student with a learning disability. I see the difficulties and just some of the things that students go through in the classroom, help create equitable policies to help students with learning disabilities, and also help students who are transitioning from high school to college, that their accommodations transfer smoothly as well. So that's also a part of my advocacy.
The 2024 class of HBCU White House Scholars includes students from 23 states and 9 countries, and North Alabama is well represented. 16 of the 110 participants either are from the Yellowhammer State or attend an HBCU in Alabama.
It's been a long time coming, and finally, after nearly 4 years of waiting, an iconic piece of Huntsville history is back in place. Just look at this. The Pathfinder hoisted back into place at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center this morning. It took 2 giant cranes to rest it back onto the shuttle outside the museum. Now, the Pathfinder was built as a test article for NASA, and when NASA was done with it, it was modified a little and went on a tour around the world. In the late 1980s, it landed at the Space and Rocket Center, its permanent home. But for the past 3.5 years, Pathfinder has been missing from the center's grounds, getting some much-needed TLC. Our Jasmine Bird tells us all about its historic return to the Rocket City today.
You know, it's a great monument to all the work that's been done here since Marshall Space Flight Center was established.
Jeffrey Oliver is a propulsion engineer, and his history with the Pathfinder dates back to 1998.
I started as a contractor with NASA, still a contractor, back in 1998. And originally, when I first got here, I did some SSME engine work and did a lot of work for the external tank, especially when they did return to flight after the Columbia accident. And it's just very interesting to see them renovate the Pathfinder and get it back up on the external tank.
Finally, 3.5 years after it came down, the orbiter mock-up was hosted back above the external fuel tank at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Oliver says seeing Pathfinder renovated and restored to good condition for the public to enjoy is special.
You know, back in the early days with von Braun and all the German scientists, it's just, you know, a continuation of a lot of great technology and innovation that NASA has performed.
U.S. Space and Rocket Center curator Ed Stewart says Pathfinder wasn't meant to be outside exposed to the weather for literally 30 years. So they've done a lot of work.
So we've done work on the interior subframe to make sure that it stays robust for as long as possible. It resists corrosion, things like that. The new skin that's on the outside is a foam, kind of carved foam skin with a 3D printed substructure, and we expect it to be robust for decades and decades and decades.
Thursday, the shuttle wings are scheduled to be lifted and attached to the orbiter's main body, and Friday, the shuttle's main engines will be lifted and put back in place.
It's been more than 2 years, too long for a Huntsville family. They want their brother home. His name is David Barnes, and he's been in prison in Russia for a crime they say he did not commit. Barnes had been working in Houston. He was in a custody battle with his ex-wife, Svetlana, originally from Russia. We reviewed court documents that showed his ex made claims that Barnes had abused their 2 sons, but a jury found him not guilty following a trial in March of 2019. Shortly after, his ex-wife fled to Russia with their 2 children. Court documents also reveal she is indicted for interference with child custody. The family says Barnes went to Russia for his sons, David and Christian, in December of 2021. Barnes' ex-wife reported him to Russian authorities claiming child abuse, the same allegations that were rejected here in the States. But in Russia, Barnes was convicted and sentenced to 21 years in prison.
They're doing an appeal, but an appeal's just like the court case is 99% conviction rate. The appeal's not going to do anything. It's just going to cost us more money for his attorney.
These sisters aren't alone in this fight. We talked to a friend who's the driving force in bringing David home. For the full story, visit FOX54.com.
The Decatur Police Department making efforts to connect with the public today. They teamed up with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office to host National Night Out. This was a way for members of the community to interact with local law enforcement in a relaxed environment. Officials say the event was just not for the public to be able to connect. It also was a way for officers to keep building connections with the community.
I think it's really important for us to actively work to ensure these relationships are strong and good with the community so we can just have a safer Decatur, Morgan County.
When I'm at work, I know they're safe at home because of our local law enforcement, and I'm able to get out and enjoy the events in the city and feel safe.
People in attendance were able to enjoy food, music, and giveaways.
Sometimes a good deed does get rewarded. A Huntsville man is one of 5 national finalists hoping to prove he's got the most benevolent beard in America. Hosted by men's grooming company Wall, the competition will award one of the fuzzy face finalists with $20,000 and himself and up to $5,000 for his charity. You probably recognize Rodney Smith Jr. We've spotlighted him over the years, a local Good Samaritan on a mission to give back to the community by getting volunteers to mow lawns for those in need like the elderly and disabled. The movement started as a personal effort but grew into a national campaign deemed the 50-yard challenge.
The 50-yard challenge is a challenge that we have issued to kids to mow 50 free lawns in their community for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans. As they accept this 50-yard challenge, they make a sign saying, "I accept the 50-yard challenge." But once they mow 50 free lawns in their community, they also earn a brand new mower, weed eater, and blower. Some kids even take that equipment and start their own business, as well as continue to mow for those in need on the side once they finish.
What a movement that is. Now, Smith could use your help. Make sure to vote for him for the most benevolent beard in America by September 9th. You can find a link to vote for the Huntsville hero on our website. Another week is in the books, but stick with Fox 54 Plus over the weekend for replays of the newly expanded edition of First Down Friday night. Next week, we'll feature the return of Fox 54's Top Teacher. Watch for those profiles Tuesdays at 5:30 and 9. And once more, here on the Weekend Review. For now, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a safe Labor Day weekend.